So it has been a rough couple of years, right, for pretty much everyone. The pandemic certainly exacerbated some mental health issues. And I think it's fair to say that as fear, stress, and isolation grew, substance abuse and addiction also increased. So those working on the front lines with people who have mental health issues have literally seen it all. There is a place that has been helping Montrealers for 40 years. It's called Maison Jean Lapointe. And Élisabeth Lapointe is the executive director, and she joins us now. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for your time today. So I have to ask, with your last name being Lapointe, is Jean Lapointe or a family relative, or what's the connection, Anne-Elisabeth?
Yes, absolutely. He is my father.
Okay. What have the last, so I'm glad to see that it's in the family for 40 years. What have the past 2 years been like at Maison Jean Lapointe?
Well, it's been tough. If you remember back at the beginning of the pandemic, everyone was struggling to find masks, all the equipment necessary, to offer a safe environment. So we had to close for about a month and a half. And so during that time, the phone kept ringing. We had clients that relapsed. Anyway, it was really hard. And so we started our virtual treatment, which is still continuing to this day and is very popular. And what we saw is actually, because we did a few surveys, it showed that Quebecers increased their alcohol consumption. And to the point that 2 years later, they're still drinking alcohol as much as they did at the beginning of the pandemic, which means it increased, and it's still up there. And so what it means also is that more people will need help eventually. So this is what's been going on. If we talk about mainly adults, we've seen increase in anxiety and depression as well. But when we look at teenagers, because we also meet around 80,000 kids throughout Quebec during the school year, and we've seen it's devastating. They're more anxious, more depressed. They, of course, increased as well either the use of all the new technologies or other substances. I think just during the news, they talked about the vape pen with cannabis. Mm-hmm. And so we've seen this going on. And so it's very, very sad to see. And we're glad to be in schools to be able to talk to the kids, but they really do need help. We now have counselors that are in schools throughout the week. Instead of just coming for an activity and leaving, we have now counselors to be able to help youth and hopefully change their drinking or, drugging habits.
I have to say what really struck me there as you were explaining what it's been like, Anne-Elisabeth, is the fact that as things have gotten better, like the situation having to do with the pandemic is so much better than it was, right? Yeah. And yet it seems like the addiction and the mental health issues have not gotten better.
No, they have not. And unfortunately, what we see as well is that there's a lack of funding. I mean, they did announce a lot of money that's supposedly going to come to us eventually to treat people with mental health issues, but for substance use, no, there's nothing has been done, and so we're still struggling. We're still at half our capacity, and all the other centers as well, which means that there are a lot of people suffering right now who do not have access.
So when you say you're at half capacity, is that literally just due to finances? The money's not there to accommodate more?
We did not get money to accommodate due to COVID restrictions. And so right now, instead of having 50 beds, I have 28 because of the COVID restrictions. We're going to open slightly and add more beds because we don't want to have cases inside the treatment center. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if one patient has COVID, then in a matter of few days, everyone will have COVID. And so even though they wear masks, it's still pretty dangerous for that. And so we still have about a month a wait list, which is, we've never had that.
That's not okay.
And so this is what's happening with people seeking help, which is why we still have our virtual treatment that is available. Mm-hmm. So people from their home can receive the same kind of therapy they would being an inpatient.
That's
and
great.
So we had to start doing that and doing more of it because of the wait list and because there's no funding for us to add more bedrooms, because it's a big adjustment if you have to suddenly find more rooms to be able to welcome more clients.
Them. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. We're speaking with ÉLIZABETH Lapointe, Executive Director of Maison Jean Lapointe. They've been around for 40 years helping young Montrealers deal with mental health and addiction issues. So maybe you could talk to us a little bit about the link, the connection between mental health and substance use.
It goes both ways, which is what we've realized. It's either people are self-medicating because they feel anxious, they feel stressed or depressed, and so they will use either alcohol or cannabis or even other substances or even gambling or social media to feel better. So they do that instead of going to see a doctor. And so they will drink or use, and because they do it for a certain amount of time, well, of course, they become dependent, and therefore they never took care of the initial issue. And so they're stuck with two issues, mental health issues and substance use issues. But the other thing is, if you switch it around, it's the same thing. People who will drink a lot, use a lot, gamble a lot, it will make them more anxious and more depressed and more stressed for so many reasons, but even just because of the dependency. And so it backfires, and then whenever they come to our center, we realize we need to take care of both issues. If we always start with the substance, because we know that once they're sober for long enough time, then sometimes all the symptoms of either anxiety or depression will go away. But when it's still there, then they need to seek help from either a psychologist or we start a medication with them. And so it is completely linked, either for youth or adults. It's always there.
I'm so glad that you guys have been around for 40 years doing what you're doing, and especially now talking to young people about the risks associated with substance abuse or overconsumption. And I know you said you've got a month-long wait list and only 28 beds for the time being, but if stuff is available online,
yes.
And Elizabeth, how can people access this or find out more information?
You know what? This is amazing because it doesn't matter where they are because it's online. And so they just need to phone us or write to us on our Facebook page, and then we make an appointment with one of our counselors. We have counselors that work, 40 hours a week just doing that, the online therapy, and it's exactly the same kind of help. And so it's been working so well. We assessed the virtual treatment because we wanted to see if it was efficient or not, and people were able to completely quit either drinking or using or gambling thanks to the virtual team.
Amazing.
And so people just need to call us, we make an appointment, and then we start from there, and we go at their rhythm. So if they're only available once a week, that's okay. Twice a week, 5 times a week, we really go with, their availability because, right now people are working, they have kids at home, or they have social anxiety, so they don't want to come, to our treatment center.
Yeah, they need help.
And so there's no wait list. Online, there's no wait list, which is, amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. You can get the help you need right away.
Exactly.
I'm just going to direct people. The website is maisonjeanlapointe.org.
Yep.
You can find all the information there. Keep up the great work, and congratulations on 40 years.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is ÉLIZABETH Lapointe. She is Executive Director of Maison Jean Lapointe.